What do we want to talk about? A few things. Welcome back to the insurance panel. We've been gone a while, but we have been working tirelessly, and believe it or not, Nick and I have been wanting to do a video
for weeks.
Every week.
Yeah.
Every week. We were like, dude, let's do it. And things just keep happening. Things just keep happening. Things just keep happening. And that's life. We're living an odd time right now. There's a lot of e-app changes.
There are. Yeah. Prosperity just released a thing.
LBL making some changes.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, it's similar to, if I'm correct, CFG.
That's what I've been told. And people have good things to say about that. It is in my experience rarely the company that's the issue. Like the e-app creation company.
Okay.
It is usually more the carrier that causes the issues, but maybe not. I did a Transamerica e-app today.
Tell us.
Yeah, I did a.
Did you do it because they sent you a tumbler,
no.
a poster, a teddy bear, and everything else?
I did it because there was literally nobody else I could write this lady with.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I could have written her like Gerber or somebody, but there's no. I mean, like, she qualifies for trans preferred.
Wow.
Yeah, and there was nobody else that was going to take her because she's on nitro. Okay. Which knocks out everybody but 3. And then she's got AFib that she's been treated for in the last 3 years, but not within the last 2 years. And so that knocks out the other 2. And she's got an untreated aneurysm also.
Okay. I was going to say, well, AFib, am I thinking wrong? Oxford? Do they
but not with nitro.
Not with nitro.
Not with nitro.
Okay. I know they take nitro. They will. They have.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've seen. I've seen nitro go quite a few times. It has to be more of like a non-filled nitro, like it was filled and then it was never used, and they refill it just as a,
right,
type thing. But with most companies, when they see nitro, they just automatically.
It's an automatic decline.
It's an automatic modified or decline or whatever. So it's.
That used to be the way with Oxford, and maybe Oxford's weird now. Oxford is, I mean, it's cool, but it's unpredictable because they don't have a med list anymore. So who knows?
What's weird about Oxford, and I love Oxford, by the way.
No. Oxford's great. Like, nothing against Oxford. It's just, it's not predictable necessarily.
What's weird about Oxford is they do not do a risk assessment at all.
Mm-mm. No. I mean,
and they'll tell you.
And they shouldn't. Because I mean, it's you follow the app questions if the answers are.
Well, and that's the majority of final expense.
Right.
White or black.
Yeah.
Yes or no, and that's why you're able to say trans preferred, because no to all these questions, or yes to all the
And at her age, trans preferred was like a really good price. It was a $25,000 policy. She was in her 70s. Like, it was like $100 a month. It was a good price. And so I did a trans e-app, and through no fault of Transamerica's, things went completely sideways on the app. And this is one of those times that I cannot blame the carrier. This is IGO, but
okay.
But it tried to tell me that that she was too old to qualify for an immediate solutions final expense policy, and I said, but she's not. and I called Transamerica, and so what I ended up doing is she has an email address. She already has a policy with me, so I ended up getting the e-app completely filled out, except for the very first page of the e-app, which it would not let me process. And then I validated, locked the signatures, and emailed her the signature pages, which I don't think she's going to have a problem with. We'll find out, I guess. But because I ended up spending an hour and a half on the phone with tech support trying to figure out how to get it to unlock this application. So So there you go. It serves me right for writing a Transamerica policy.
Well, I know, recently you were able to go back in the field and you're pumped. And now, again, it's starting to be like, is PA shut down again? I mean, we're not really sure.
No. Well, no,
yes and no, right?
But yes.
No? Yeah, right.
So it depends on, the Department of Insurance and the state of Pennsylvania have both been actually exceedingly clear as what is and is not allowed. That being said, there are some carriers who have decided to interpret the Department
like Royal Neighbors.
Yes, they've decided to interpret the Department of Insurance's guidelines differently than everybody else has. Where the Department of Insurance guidelines is, if social distancing and telephone sales are possible, they do not want you. They want you doing telephone sales, and only when telephone sales are not possible, is it okay to do face-to-face sales. Right?
Got it.
So if the client says, hey, no, I don't want to do this over the phone. I would like you to come see me. Let's set an appointment. You can come out to see me and we can do this. One would think that that's okay. Royal Neighbors has decided that since their final expense application has the opportunity for a telephone app, that only on their final expense application, which is the only product that they offer that can be done at distance, you must do that via telephone. And you cannot do it via telephone at their house. You have to leave their house and do it via three-way telephone call. And I talked to people over at Royal Neighbors and I said, I think this is silly. And they said, well, you're dealing with a high-risk population, and we would like you to not be in their house for as long as possible. So if you have the ability to leave their house and continue the interview, not from their kitchen table, we would want you to take that opportunity. So, okay.
I'm not even sure carrier trips are going to be a thing anymore.
Who knows? I don't know.
Are they just going to have to say, we were going to book this for you and it was going to be worth this much and just send you a check, or it's just,
I don't know. I'm on pace to go to Ireland with family benefit, and I might not be going to Ireland with family benefit in June of 2021. But who knows?
Where was the trip this year? You qualified for that too, right?
I did. Yeah, we were supposed to go to Portugal. We would have gone second week in June. No, first week in June. We'd have left May 31st. Gone first.
Did they come up with anything as like a?
Yeah. So they rescheduled.
Okay.
The trip has been postponed till October something. It got postponed to a time that my family didn't work for us, so we ended up not going. We just said no, we can't do it.
Wow.
So I don't remember the right dates in my head, but now it's looking like Portugal's not going to let us come anyway. So last I heard, family benefit's still on the fence as to what's going to happen with that. Although, again, since I'm not going anyway, I kind of haven't been tracking it as carefully.
I got a question for you. My AC is like in this room. This is my guest room. Can you hear that?
Nope. Cannot hear it.
Loud Jaguar purring to the side of me. Okay, perfect. Then this mic is awesome. I love this mic. Yeah. I actually used it for telesales the other day. I was building out through a CRM, go high level, to just call. And it started up and I was like, oh my God. And I listened back because it does the recording for me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wait a second, I don't hear a thing. I wonder if maybe it was just a fluke or something, but this mic is amazing. I absolutely love this mic. Nice. I'm using this from now on. So that's awesome. For those that don't know, if you're watching this video, hopefully we're going to get this video out like Monday, maybe even tomorrow. I would hope. Ryan, you're still with us. Hopefully we're going to pay you. I promise. Edit the video. We'll get you some money. Medicare.
Yeah.
Coming up
already. I feel like that was like the last thing we talked about before the pandemic.
Yeah, because it was coming up then, but now it's like It's really coming up.
Yeah, it is. It's coming up. It's time to get certified all over again. Now is the time. Now is the time. You should be. You should, if you are planning on selling Medicare and you have never contracted before, you should already be AHIP certified and putting in contract requests, because by about August 15th, it is going to probably be too late to get you contracted in time to start AEP. Although, to be fair, if you're a final expense producer who's just looking to add on Medicare, kind of doesn't matter.
Here's something I learned about Medicare that I thought was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Almost as a producer, if you do a decent amount of applications, you can go to your local rep, Anthem, UHC, one of these reps, right?
Sure.
And say, I'm doing this. Can you give me money for marketing? And a lot of times they'll give you money.
Yep, sure will.
Most agents don't know that.
I think most agents who seriously do Medicare know that, but I think you're probably right. But so the whole Medicare field works differently than final expense agents are used to how things work. Because of regulations on compensation and stuff like that, there's a lot of stuff that we're not allowed to have happen. Higher contract levels can't happen. Incentive trips can't happen. All sorts of things like that can't happen. But what is allowed is marketing money, very explicitly allowed. And so marketing money flows through in all sorts of different ways. A lot of times various IMOs will pay you marketing money also. Many IMOs, especially during AEP, will purchase lead drops for you if you'd like.
Yep.
I have had IMOs in the past purchase my final expense leads for me because they know that I produce based off of my final expense leads instead of doing a different drop. They just said, here's, send us a receipt or two for your final expense and we'll reimburse you. I'm not saying every IMO is going to do that or is even able to do that, but some of them will. Might as well ask.
Yep.
I know one of the groups that I'm working with right now is paying bonuses for anybody who writes Anthem policies, where they're.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
You write an Anthem policy, you get extra marketing dollars on top of that. I know there are groups that pay monthly bonuses in marketing money. Depending on how much you produce, you can get X number of dollars. And this is all really, 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 really common stuff.
Yep.
It's not, that doesn't exist in the final expense world because we get paid 120% to write our stuff. So it's just different. It's a different world. And it's a world, that if you're going to be doing it, you need to know the rules a little bit and how it works. I feel like you're a little less likely to be taken advantage of in the Medicare world than in the final expense world. I don't see as many crazy shark IMOs out there just because compensation is so heavily regulated. Not that there aren't things that they can do to take advantage of you.
Right.
But it just seems less common because you have to try so much harder to do it.
I see a lot of the IMOs, or I see a lot of horror stories about my FMO or my IMO promised me this. They promised me X. And so they sign those contracts with those FMOs, IMOs. The FMO, IMOs get the marketing dollars, right, from the carriers. Right. And then that is not used for what they said it was going to be. It's not for the agents didn't get what they were said. And so that's where it gets screwy.
Well, yeah. And when it comes, especially when it comes to the marketing money and all of this kind of gray area bonus stuff, that is a place where you got to be a little bit more careful. And, have some trust that your organization is going to do right by you.
Yep. So I sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting a ton of money, and they were like, Matt, you're running these new Facebook leads that are crushing it for Medicare. because I just tested it out. I don't even really know Medicare yet, but I knew about with the
Mm-hmm.
I made a lead. I went through the compliance thing, made sure I hit go, and then I got a call from one of our top agents, and he was like, "Dude, I'm getting 20 calls about like what is going on." And so when I'm able to bring it from $150, $200 a day budget to $1,000 a day budget statewide, it's going to be fun for I'm going to enjoy the crap out of that. And just being able to get leads for people, just saying, hey, as long as you're closing 15%,
right,
20% during AEP, here, every time I'll give you 100 leads, go close 10, 15, and we'll give you another 100 leads.
Well, yeah. And that's where you see a lot of organizations do give out free leads, because if you are a Medicare First agent, your upfront commission is really low, even if you kill it. Even if you kill it during AEP, right? Yep. You go out and you write, I don't know, 200 people during AEP, like something like just like crush AEP. You write 200 people in the 7 weeks of AEP, right? That's great. You've done that, but you haven't gotten paid in October at all. Mm-hmm. You're working probably at that, if you're writing that many people in that few days, you're writing multiple people every single day, 7 days a week, probably.
Yep.
You don't get paid at all in October. You don't get paid at all in November.
Yep.
You don't get paid at all in December.
Yep.
And you go into January and you don't get paid on January 1st.
Yep.
You will get paid in the middle of January, and you write 200 people in AEP, you'll probably make about $55,000 in January.
Mm-hmm.
And then, unless you keep going out and crushing it through the rest of the year, you're not getting paid again until the following January.
Right.
And hey, $55,000 check is a big check. I am not knocking a $55,000 check in January. You can live for a long time on a $55,000 check.
Sure. But
you then have to, you gotta, you're back to making like $200 an app still,
Mm-hmm.
And going for months at a time where you're not getting paid if you're brand new,
Yep.
Medicare is a long play game, and let's be really, really, really honest. Like, most agents aren't going to write 200 people in
no
AEP. Again,
25, 50.
Yeah. That's 49 days ish, like 49, 50 days. If you're writing one a day, you're every day for all 50 days. If you're writing one a day,
yep,
like, that's great.
Yeah.
But
see, most people don't have the mental fortitude to work 7 days a week for 7 weeks.
No. Most people, forget mental fortitude. Most people don't have the ability. Like, they've got other stuff going on in their lives,
and they don't even have the cash flow to sustain themselves for that long.
Yeah, like, they don't have the wardrobe to work 7 days a week. Like, come on.
Yep.
Like you've got to stop and do laundry and feed yourself at some time and go grocery shopping. Mm-hmm. Right? Most people don't have a staff doing this kind of stuff for them.
Yep. Speaking of staff, I want to bring something else up, but let's go on.
No, most people would consider like 50 apps in AEP a pretty good AEP. One a day, 100 apps in AEP, pretty good AEP. You're looking at a check for like $13,000 to $26,000 there, which is okay. Like, that's good. That's again, it's a big check, but then you're back to making 200 an app.
Yeah, and what I'm realizing about Medicare is, if I had been doing it for 5 years, mm-hmm. right, that I've been in the insurance industry, and I sucked, mm-hmm. and I did that amount, 50 a year, 75 a year, mm-hmm. I would be at near 400 enrollments at this point, mm-hmm. right?
Yeah.
I would be there.
That's $100,000+ of renewal money.
So just don't think that you have to do 400 in AP. You don't got to try to hurt yourself during AEP.
No.
Go hard in the paint. Work extra hard during AEP. And it's the only time. It's the only time where they can switch plans without. It's open season, right?
Yeah.
So they want to do it during that time. They know it. They have been told this. Yeah. They know it's AEP more than you do. Trust me.
Everybody tells them every day, all year long. October to December, that's Medicare season.
Yep.
Commercials, year-round commercials, running currently, right now, with Joe Namath in them, telling them October to December is Medicare season. It's it's not even August, it's July, and they're telling them.
So they know.
100% they know.
But doesn't mean you need to hurt yourself.
And here's the other thing. If you are a final expense agent and you are a producing final expense agent, you're writing $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a week consistently. And guys, if you're watching our channel and you're struggling to hit $3,000, $4,000, or $5,000 a week consistently, like $3,000 a week consistently, like go watch some of our videos again or something like.
Yeah.
Like, but if you're a producing final expense agent and you're running leads and you're seeing final expense people, I write very, very, very consistently 2 to 3 Medicare apps every single week, and I don't run Medicare leads.
Yep.
I just write the people who ask me when I'm in their home, hey, I see on your business card it says Medicare. Can you talk to me about this? I'm probably leaving a ton of business on the table because I don't have time. In fact, I know I'm leaving a ton of business on the table because I don't have time, because I know the agents that I work with who have gone to focus on it full time do like 3 times the number of enrollments that I do.
Sure.
But if you're a full-time final, I mean, there's no reason you can't be writing this all year. You don't need to change what you're doing for AEP. There's no reason for it. Yep. Keep going. Keep writing 3 a week. If you write 2 people a week every week, it's 100 people a year. Again, 4 years, $100,000. 2 a week.
Yeah, I mean 2 a week for normal, and then during AEP, crush it and do 50.
Great. Then you're at 100,000, and then you're making $9,000 a month plus in 2 years' time, just in renewals. Great. On top of everything else that you're already doing.
Just being average.
On top of the $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a week you're making in your final expense.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. So I want to talk about staff and kind of going to the next level. And for those that don't know, Ramiz, who's been on this show before, great guy. Mm-hmm. I think he's out of the business.
He retired. He went to politics full time.
Yeah, it's super awesome.
Crazy. Right?
I love it, dude. I keep up with him all the time. But he said something during an interview that I did with him one day. When we were talking about leads and we were talking about like TCPA violations and all this stuff, blah, 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 right? And he goes, Matt, why wouldn't you just hire people internally, create jobs around you, be a local legend, right? And have a higher quality lead or higher quality appointment set for your agents. And I took it and I was like, I want to do it. So I hired an appointment setter in the home office. I pay her a decent wage. She's a single mom of 1. She gets health benefits for her and her kid.
Nice.
And she absolutely, I mean, we call her the machine. She had never done appointment setting before. I sat with her for 3 days and coached her everything that she needs to know. And I have her set up through the CRM, so it just dials for it, connects, it shows the lead right in front of her. And she's been calling on aged leads that my little brother's been running himself. His production went from like $3,500 a week to now he's doing like $7,000 to $8,000 a week.
Nice.
And he loves it. I mean, he is ecstatic.
Fantastic.
But I was able to do 2 things: create a job and create more production. That's a win-win.
Absolutely.
So guys, I'm telling you, if you have a little bit of extra cash flow and you know how to set your own appointments, and you want to, and unless you're like Nick, who's just an appointment setting machine, my little brother every day has 5 to 6 appointments. Awesome. And he usually runs 4 days a week.
Awesome.
He has a 3-day weekend, and he loves it. He loves it. I just thought that was cool. I don't know.
It is cool. And man, if you've got a good appointment setter, good appointment setters are worth their weight in gold. Like a good appointment setter, yeah, all the time. And the best appointment setter is one that you're going to hire and train yourself. Like,
oh yeah,
absolutely.
When she came on, she had no clue. She had no idea. She sat with her and watched me do it for a couple of days. I set appointments, and she was like, "You're just so smooth." But now she is just like, she don't take no crap from no clients. She laughs at them when they're sitting there yelling at her. She just enjoys it.
Good.
And I'm seeing her set for 3 or 4 different people now. And not just my younger brother, but 3 or 4 agents. And she's setting like 7 appointments an hour.
Fantastic.
Crushes it. As long as she has new leads. The age leads, she got to sift through the crap. But
yeah, and that's the problem with age leads. They're harder to work. How you paying her hourly or per appointment or
hourly, and then hourly, and the agent pays per appointment that they sit down with, and then they pay a $25 bonus, marketing bonus to the setter, so she makes a small bonus.
Nice.
And she loves it, dude. His production has skyrocketed. Her check is awesome, and she has healthcare. So I just thought,
awesome.
That is super. That's amazing, dude. I love it.
Super awesome.
So I'm trying to do 10. I'm trying to hire 10 appointment setters here in the office, and give that as more of a service to the agent. They're going to pay for it.
Sure.
But most of the time, the agents don't ever want to. What's the word? Take the leap of faith and hire an appointment setter. They don't want to think about the extra cash flow every week.
Yeah.
Because I remember I interviewed Joe Bash.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, way back when.
Yeah.
Back when we were doing this on Facebook.
Yeah, back on FE Agents, #FE Agents Only club. There's something else we got to talk about on the groups. And he was one of the first people I interviewed, and you're like, he's a great guy. And he was, and he said, I have to pay for my leads. I have to pay for the setter. He's like, I'm coming out of pocket $1,200, $1,500, $2,000 a week. I have to know I'm going to close the business.
Yeah.
And if you know you're going to close the business, then
doesn't matter.
Make your money. It's just, so
like, that doesn't matter, and that's the thing. Like, I've said this before, and I did an interview a little bit ago where somebody was asking me about leads, and I went off on my leads are cheap rant again, which I've done a couple of times. If you go find the first Dave Duford interview that I did back a couple years ago, I went on a little mini rant about how leads are cheap. Leads are cheap. Leads are cheap if you're getting paid. If you're making proper commission, and you're not stuck on like a 60% contract somewhere. Leads are cheap. You should be, if you can get 20 leads a week, 25 is better, but if you can get 20 leads a week, you should be able to go out and write $4,000 in premium every single week, because you should be able to sit down with 12 of those 20 every single week. Like, no question. And
one lead.
Yeah.
Out of 20 or 25 will be an absolute laydown.
Absolutely.
And it will pay for the leads.
Pay for all of your leads.
The one if you just put them all and you throw a dartboard, one of them will just absolutely say, I had a lady one time, I remember, she was like, so when are you going to sell me insurance?
Right.
I have my checkbook. I'm ready for some insurance now. I was like, what?
Right.
She was like, I want the insurance. I don't know what you're talking about final expenses. She's like, I want some insurance, bro. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
You're going to make, and then everything after that is profitable. Your first lead, the first one you sell for the week on Monday, pays for everything.
Everything.
And then you're in the cash flow season. The second one pays for all your meals and pays for all your gas and any wear and tear in your car. And then you're super in cash flow.
Yeah.
You just got to go to work.
I mean, yeah.
So,
Like, I don't
gosh,
know.
I've missed
Yeah.
this, Nick. I've missed. I don't know why.
Like, yeah.
You're the only
It's
you're the only other guy. Like, no, you're not the only other guy in Final Expense. But there's many other people like me and you, but you're the one. You're the one that I enjoy talking to the most. I wish Chris was back. Chris, please come
well.
back and be on the insurance panel again. We absolutely love you. I hope you're still watching. Let us know
Oh,
if you're in the comments.
but I mean, we've been talking about this kind of stuff for longer than most people.
Oh, through the groups. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
we've
like,
been on the groups. Speaking of the groups,
yeah.
Eric Fierro took over FE coach.
Okay.
Did you see that?
I did not see that. I haven't looked at FE coach in a year.
All of a sudden I saw Eric Ferrero. Is it Ferrero? I'm sorry if I'm messing up your day. You got good hair, dude. I know you're a good guy. I met you in Dallas at the One Life conference not too long ago. I just saw he was like updating the change picture or the avatar and all this stuff, and I was like, what's going on? And I looked, and then he was the owner or the another admin of the group. And I was like, that's weird. And he's been posting regular content, so I guess he took over the group. You know, here's the thing about groups. Except for FE agents only.
Yeah.
Every group has not a hidden message, but they have not even a hidden agenda. They have an agenda.
Yeah. No, definitely. They all do.
Except for FE agents only.
I mean, I'd say even FE agents only has an agenda. It's just the agenda is a really like benevolent one for FE agents. The agenda of FE agents only was, me and Jose got tired of like how crappy the conversations in other groups were, and we wanted a place where we could have like better conversations.
Sure.
Unfortunately, like we're busy producing, so we don't post a lot of original content to grind traffic through. I feel like the signal to noise ratio in the group is really high. So the content that gets posted there is all really, really high value content, but there's just not a lot of it. It's not a high traffic group, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, if you're an FE agent only, like FE/Medicare agent only, then you should be out producing, and you don't really have a whole lot of time. I'll tell this to people that might be watching me on social media. Original content and posting on social media is really tough. Taking the time
consuming.
Taking the time to do all this, message people, post with pictures and all that stuff is a lot. People don't realize how long. You made a post the other day in TTC or a couple months back. That was one of the best posts that I have ever seen. And I was like, cheers, Nick. But it only got like 13 likes.
Yep.
And I was like, no, this is going to go underrated as like, this is the most underrated Facebook post that's ever going to go on. And I was like, y'all don't know who's posting this. And that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I just want to keep doing this videos with you, Nick, because I want people to know who Nick Frumpkin is. Hundreds of years from now, there's going to be a book written about. I'm going to write the damn book about you, Nick, if you don't do it yourself.
No, okay, great. You can write the book about me. Go for it. I'll co-sign on that. But yeah, I mean, I don't post a lot of like I've posted like one or two big like posts. Yep. And most of the stuff that I post is just comments and responses to other people's stuff. And if it gets seen, it gets seen. That's not what I'm there for, right? I'm there because I'm easily bored. And I spend a lot of time like hanging out, waiting for people to show up to their appointments. Or, decompressing after I've walked out of an appointment and I need to clear my head before I walk into the next one. And that's pretty much it. I'm not there with an agenda to try to recruit anybody or with an agenda to try and build anything other than what it is. I'd like to see more agents that are good at what they do and fewer agents that are bad at what they do, because I legitimately, going back out into the field, I had forgotten, and it's been like a month, but I'd forgotten how just crappy some of the agents that are out there are. Like, the stuff that I see people in is just like heartbreaking sometimes.
Oh
What you
yeah.
gonna do?
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, I ran into one the other day that was like the guy had this policy and it was like a 20 pay,
Mhm.
and he had paid on it.
Mhm.
It was paid up, and the agent told him it was a good idea to borrow money legitimately,
Right.
and it was only a $5,000 policy, but he had gotten it years back, and he borrowed. The agent was like, "Just get $1,000, and then whatever you were paying there, we're going to get you another $3,000 whole life to take care of your burial." Well, he didn't tell the guy that when he borrowed the money, it started a loan. So when I got to him, the loan had gotten like so big that his policy was only worth $1,500. You know, and I was like, "Who's your agent, bro? Like, come on."
That's bad stuff. That's not so. I mean, like I don't think a week goes by when there's not a story like that I can tell. I met a lady this week who told me a story about how her now deceased husband's best friend sold her a universal life policy around 2002. And the reason she'd sent in a card was because she had this universal life policy that she purchased around 2002 that was a $50,000 policy. And 3 years ago, they sent her a letter saying, "Hey, you can't keep paying $50 a month for this $50,000 universal life policy. You need to either start paying us $200 a month, or we're gonna drop your death benefit down to $15,000." And she said, "Well, screw you guys. Give me back my money." And they said, "Haha, joke's on you. There is no more money." And she canceled the policy and went to go find a new one and was disappointed 3 years later when I was like the sixth agent, because now she's in her 70s, who told her that, you cannot get a $50,000 policy when you're 77 years old for $50 a month.
Yep.
Um, and she's like, "But why did my husband's best friend do this to me?" And I said, he didn't
Because
do it to you
commission,
because,
bro.
well, I'm gonna say I don't think he knew any better. Like, I don't know.
Well,
I
and
don't
that.
know that he did it on purpose. I think he probably thought he was legitimately selling her discount life insurance, the way that people who are selling Americo policies right now with smoker forgiveness think that they're helping people quit smoking. The reason why people who go out and sell universal life policies right now, or even index universal life policies, which don't have to be bad products, but they sell them, they sell them backwards, and they sell them for like, it makes me so frustrated. Um, and you see it. I literally, there's not a week that goes by where I don't see something. I mean, like, we could do "What stupid thing did Nick see in the field this week" segment every time we record, and I'd always have a new story.
I got a call from a guy today that was like, "Hey, I'm with a guy right now, and he's paying $223 a month," and I was like, "Great." And he was like, "Yeah, problem is it's um an art policy." I didn't
Yep.
say who it really was, right? Um, and it just went up. I was like, "Well, how much from how much to how much?" And he was like, "Well, it's a $100,000 term.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's 67.
Mm-hmm.
He takes Entresto,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Tough
Um,
times.
glipizide, blah 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 blah. Heart attack 4 years ago, throat cancer 7 years ago, and it's $223 now, and it's going to go up to $332 4
Soon.
years from now,
Yeah.
whatever it is. Blah, 7 years when he's 70, and then by the time he's 80, he's going to have nothing.
Right.
And I had to get on the phone with that guy because it was an agent in the house. And I said, "Hey man, how you doing?" And he was like, "I'm good, man." I was like, "Well, you know what's going on, right?" He was like, "No." I was like, "Dude, if you keep paying on that policy, like, unless you die between now and 80, you won't, you'll waste that money." And I was like, "And by the way, are you able to handle 223?" He was like, "Not really." And I was like, Will you be able to handle 333? No. Then what are you doing? What can you handle? $150.
Great.
Let's take that. Let's put it into a whole life now and get you coverage. Where would you go with Entresto?
Oxford.
That's what I said. Go with Oxford.
That's where I would go.
That's exactly where I went.
Bring it all back full circle.
Big erect Oxford, baby. Oxford's awesome. Do the InstaWrite. Do the InstaWrite. Say it's approved. Make sure the thing with Oxford is make sure that whatever you put on the InstaWrite is exactly what you put on the
matches what you put on the application.
I'm talking down to the pound.
Yeah.
Or they will say absolutely not. Make sure you do it. So, guy, I would even suggest if you're doing the InstaWrite online, take a picture and write it down because you'll forget. Miss Jones, how much you say you weigh again? Oh, I said 167. I'll say 165, and now it's not going to get approved. So
then you got to do the InstaWrite all over again.
Yep, got to do the InstaWrite all over again. But once you figure out Oxford in the field, Oxford is awesome.
Do you ever do their e-app? I find their e-app to be very frustrating. So I'm still doing their paper app, but
yeah, I paper app only is the way InstaWrite paper app.
Yep, that's the way I go.
And then it's like they approve.
Yeah.
Like once that's done, you do the InstaWrite and you do a paper app and you fax it in it's instant almost.
Like butter.
So, like butter. So Oxford's awesome. You're awesome, Nick. I'm glad that we were able to do this. Hopefully that we are able to do this soon. Guys, have you missed us? Did you miss us? Do you hate us still? Do you still love us? I know a couple of you guys have reached out and said you want us to do videos. We're back.
We'll be back again. I just remembered just now what we were supposed to be talking about when we did this, which is we were going to be talking about like best practices for setting appointments, and we did not talk about that. So now we've got a teaser. We'll do that the next time.
Best practices for setting appointments. I'll give you a tip. It's not saying you want some insurance when you get on the phone because it'll never work.
Good tip.
Talk to you guys soon.
Hot tip.
Hot tip. Tip from the whip. We'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good one.